I'm sharing the story Love Will See You Through. Martin Luther King Jr.'s six guiding beliefs is told by his niece, and there she is as a little girl, Angela Farris Watkins, PhD, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport. I will be summarizing some parts of the story, so I really hope you have a chance to check this out at the library and read it entirety for yourself. I know you'll really enjoy it. Martin Luther King Jr. is recognized as one of the greatest men in history. He worked hard to end segregation and discrimination against African Americans. As he did so, he helped make America better. He believed love and nonviolence were the solution and the basis of his six guiding beliefs. Belief number one, have courage. Uncle Martin faced adversity with courage. For him, courage meant solving problems without violence. In 1955, he went to Montgomery, Alabama, to organize a boycott of buses because of discrimination in the busing system. And one night, as he spoke at a local church, his house was bombed. And when he heard, he rushed home and found a mass of policemen, news reporters, and fire trucks surrounding his house. Many African Americans wanted him to fight back. He courageously resisted the use of violence that night. First, he made sure his family was okay, and then he walked out on his porch and he told the people to put down their weapons. He explained the bus boycott would only be won in the spirit of love, and he was right. The following December, he proudly announced that segregation on Montgomery's buses was over. Belief number two, love your enemies. Uncle Martin believed if we courageously face our problems, we must seek to love our enemies. One Sunday morning, he preached a sermon called Loving Your Enemies. And in his sermon, he explained how to love our enemies and why we must love our enemies, because God wants us to, and that we have to hold love in our hearts. And the more hate we put out in the world, the more we live in a world filled with hate. But love makes everyone stronger. Principle three, fight the problem, not the person who caused it. Just before Easter in 1963, Uncle Martin went to Birmingham, Alabama to stop segregation against African Americans in stores and restaurants. He was arrested and put in jail for protesting. And as he read the local paper, he discovered a letter by fellow preachers and pastors saying that the protests were untimely and he should back down. He wrote a letter in response that did not attack them, but rather focused on the problem of segregation. He expressed his love and respect for the ministers, but he knew that that letter was an opportunity to explain to hundreds of people why the battle for equality must be fought. This was the letter from Birmingham jail. Principle four, when innocent people are hurt, others are inspired to help. In 1965, Uncle Martin went to Selma, Alabama to organize voter registration drive. After he registered to vote, he was attacked by a white man who didn't want African Americans to vote. When the world saw this cruelty and hatred, they witnessed the real evil behind discrimination. Across the country, people stepped up to help, including President Lyndon B. Johnson, who spoke with Uncle Martin on the phone. And later that year, President Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act outlawing discrimination in voter registration throughout the United States. Number five, resist violence of any kind. Uncle Martin believed that we are all connected to one another, and if someone hurts another person, they are also hurting themselves. In 1966, he went to Chicago to protest practices that kept African Americans from having the same kind of housing as white people. Someone threw a rock and hit him in the head, but instead of picking up the rock and throwing it back or reacting with violence, he knelt down on one knee, and he showed his people that nonviolence was the only way to solve the problem. Later that year, the Real Estate Board, Housing Authority, and banking institutions in Chicago all agreed to stop housing discrimination. Principle six, the universe honors love. Uncle Martin believed a higher force in the universe honors us when we use love. He put a lot of love into the universe, and the universe honored him by giving him the power to achieve great things. Although he lived his life in constant danger, he refused violence because he knew love would prevail. The name Martin Luther King Jr. is recognized all over the world. A national holiday is named for him and celebrated every year. More important than any of that, America is a better place because of Uncle Martin. Uncle Martin was a man of peace. Love was his way of life. Uncle Martin's six guiding beliefs teach us that love has power. His life was proof that love will see you through. I hope you enjoyed this story.